Previously,
they try to say that I have Trump derangement syndrome.
A person like that, I don't care if they're Republican, Democrat, Independent, this should not be the president of the United States.
Oops, you did it again. You got indicted.
Trump has been so insulting, so derogatory, so divisive, and the grabbing to this and the grabbing to that and the shooting the paper towels at the Puerto Rican people who had just come out of the hurricane and all the antagonistic behavior and the, during the Charlottesville, Virginia, there's good people on both sides. No, there ain't.
No, because he said the both sides, there's good people on both sides. And when you see the full quote, that wasn't what he said. And I ranted on him hard for that. Hard. There's some video about it, whatever. I mean, I ranted hard because I was like, what are you talking about, man? That I ranted about.
Yes.
And I was wrong.
Later.
My political views have changed immensely, and they're changing at a rapid pace. I will not vote for Joe Biden. I think they're totally full of shit. I think they're dangerous. I think they're race hustlers. I think they're cons. Voting for Trump is on the table. I'm voting with my money and I'm voting with Israel. I'm not getting caught up or suckered into these race politics or any of that bullshit anymore.
Guys, I think he's cured. I think we finally did it, okay, after much treatment. Michael Rapaport seems like he is finally cured from his insane case of Trump derangement syndrome. I think we finally did it. Okay, this might be one of the first instances of actually curing Trump derangement. Now, I wasn't always a Trump fan, but I never had the Trump derangement, so it was easy for me. Okay, I never was infected. Okay, I didn't have the disease, the illness, okay, the sickness. Michael Rapaport is literally, or at least was, one of the most insane Trump deranged guys that I had ever seen. And like used to post video after video after video with Trump derangement, was calling him pig thing, Donald Trump. I can't really say the word. I don't want the video to be demonetized, but he used to be talking about his thing a lot. You got to be insanely Trump deranged to be talking about somebody's little thingy thing hanging on a regular basis, even if you are a comedian. Okay, but this guy, he's going on again. Okay, I'm curious to see how this saga ends. I've seen part of this interview. It's from a place I never heard of. It's called Vice Grad. I never really heard of this place. It's something newer, it seems like, and they do news for, it's like out of Europe or something. Okay, so I'm not too familiar with them. They're not super large, at least not yet. But they did this interview with Michael Rapaport where he's basically admitting that Trump is on the table. Now, I'm curious to see how this saga ends. Is it going to end with him actually doing it? I'm starting to think, because he's starting to sound more and more educated. I'm impressed with Rapaport. Sometimes he's saying stuff like in this interview that even I hadn't heard of and thought about. And I'm like, well, hold up, Rapaport. Are you secretly based now? I got to see it. Let's get into it.
Shifted. You've been a very vocal anti-Trump.
Yes.
And probably probably the most vocal anti-Trump celebrity out there.
Yes.
Have your views shifted? I mean, a lot of Israelis are very supportive of Donald Trump, right?
Stefan, in all honesty, I have educated myself so much since 2016, and I have a ways to go. My political views have changed immensely, and they're changing at a rapid pace. I will not.
I feel like they should. If you have, so you want to have a strong foundation in which you believe, but what I found is that most people will literally sit up there and try to argue with you and not even know what the hell they're even arguing about. They'll just try to argue with you for some reason, and even they don't know why they're doing it. Okay, so you really got to have a strong foundation first, then hold your stance. But then if you find out you're being lied to, you should always be open to additional information. You should never have this attitude of like, oh, well, it doesn't matter what information I get. You're not going to change my mind. I've heard countless people say this on both the left, the right, and in between. And I'm like, what do you mean you can never change your mind? That just means that you're being an idiot, okay? Because you should always be open to having your mind changed. for whatever reason, depending on what information that you receive.
Not vote for Joe Biden. I do not support anybody from the squad. I think they're totally full of shit. I think they're dangerous. I think they're race hustlers. I think
this dude is, the fact that he brought up the race hustling though, that's one of the ones a lot of people not on game with, and a lot of black folks especially do not want to admit this, but a lot of people basically manufacture race issues like, oh, somebody's racist. They come up with all of these stories, all these hit pieces, ruin a person's life just for a quick cash grab because they know it works. It's not about feeling like they're going to be lynched or something. It's about trying to manufacture, evoke emotion within every black person that you can. And boom, you get clicks, you get interviews, you get whatever, right? You get this whole domino effect. And boom, race hustling is very lucrative in America. You know, taking all that pain and suffering that black folks actually went through, not to mention a lot of white people went through to try to basically save black people. You know that you would get, it was illegal in certain places to help black slaves, and obviously you were literally breaking the law. So a lot of people put themselves in danger, at risk for something that really was not beneficial to them just because they had a good heart. Okay, so a lot of people sacrificed a lot just so in 2024 people could race hustle and earn some extra cash off of it. Pretty dang sad if you ask me.
they're cons. I think inevitably they want to get themselves production deals to produce documentaries. I think they're three-card Monty playing bullshit artists. I think they totally have an agenda. I have said, you know,
dude, I think that a lot of these people just want to be elected, bro. Like, especially if they're obviously the politicians, they just want to be in power. You know, a lot of people in life, they decide what's important to them. And people like this that are in politics, especially on the Democrat Party side, they're in relentless pursuit of that power, and they'll do anything it takes to, one, get it, and two, to keep it. Right? It's really that simple. Anybody who's outside of that, who's kind of more of the shill type, I guess it's harder to say, but in my opinion, is more so surrounding access and being a member of like that club, that elitist type of club, that I'm better than you and everyone else type of club. I feel like that's what it's about. And unfortunately, the Democrat Party, which in my opinion, not long ago was actually the party that was supposed to be the opposite of that. That is unfortunately what it has become. You even got people like Bernie Sanders, who has bent the knee to the far leftist, woke, elitist agenda. He was always a far leftist, but he was not one of the elitists, but times changed.
not to go down the rabbit hole that at this point when we're doing this interview, voting for Trump is on the table. People are like, what are you talking about? That's my reality. That is my reality. I will not.
That's not good enough, Rapaport. You need to vote Trump. Having it on the table ain't enough. Okay, because we all know that the country was doing fine, but things done went crazy. The whole world's gone bonkers. And you talking about on the table, bro. Like, you need to go ahead and just, maybe he hasn't been fully cured, because it sounds like he might like relapse if he hears certain things from the news. It might just trigger something. He might have like a glitch or something and snap back. Okay, but I don't know. It doesn't instill confidence, but it does at least stuff like this brings lots of confidence that Joe Biden is not going to win, because at minimum, I think that he is not going to vote for Biden, which effectively hurts Joe Biden and supports Trump inevitably, whether he votes for him or not.
Support anybody who's anti-Israel. I will not support anybody that is anti, making America safe. I'm not supporting anybody that is cool with the fact that it takes me 2.5 hours to get back into America from Toronto at the what is it called? The passport at the
passport control.
The line to go from Toronto to New York. It takes me 2.5 hours, as it should, but it takes you 2 minutes to cross the border. I'm not down with that shit.
He's talking about basically how you have to go through CBP, Customs and Border Patrol. You know, you literally have to do all of these insane security checks. They're literally checking for like drugs, human trafficking. They're checking for everything. But if you're an illegal alien, oh, no, you don't got to do all of that. You just walk right in. And for those freaking morons out there who want to say, oh, well, there's all these ports of entry. Well, guess what? There's way more parts of the borders that are not ports of entry than places that are ports of entry. And a lot of people cross from all over the place undetected. They're not even considered in the numbers where they're tracking the amount of illegal aliens that are in the country. They don't even count the people that they haven't detected because they don't want to guess. The amount of people that they're counting is people that they have caught, and people that people that they have caught who have not entered ports of entry, and people who have entered through the ports of entry. But the people who they have not caught at all are not counted. So that's the reason why they have so much fentanyl in the country, so much human trafficking, and the cartels are multi-billionaires with a B because of these ridiculous policies that the far leftists try to convince us, and not to mention the insane liberal news media tries to convince us is the way to go. They try to convince us that we're insane, that if we even bring this up, they try to gaslight us into thinking it's not a problem, or that Republicans are preventing us from stopping it because they don't want to pass a amnesty border bill. I never seen people like shill so hard in my life, because there's people in the comments. I know y'all are there. I don't know if y'all actually watch the videos, but I know a lot of them are here. They're here like every video. And they're talking about, oh, Republicans blocked the border bill. Yeah, that garbage behind amnesty bill that basically provides 50,000 green cards and 5,000 illegals per day. Not to mention work authorization for all illegal aliens in the country, taking away jobs from American citizens. Like, these guys are nuts. How about the Secure the Border Act that has been passed by the House but has never been brought to the Senate floor, per Chuck Schumer literally just ignoring it and pretend like it doesn't exist, or pretending, I should say, like it does not exist. Okay, just any bill that's proposed doesn't need to just be passed. Not to mention, I believe that bill had like a ton of Ukraine funding in it, which is something that I don't support. And for what I could tell, it seems like most Americans on both the Republican and the Democrat side do not.
I'm not down with police officers in the greatest city on earth getting beaten up.
Ooh.
And you're a legal immigrant, and then you have no bail. I'm not down with
and flipping off the camera.
Flipping off the camera like Tupac when he got arrested and he was coming out in the red Detroit Red Wings t-shirt. I'm not down with going into a Costco or a 7-Eleven or a Rite Aid, as I videotaped once and went crazy viral, cleaning out the spot and walking like you're on a like a beautiful spring day walk. I'm not down with any of that shit. So any of these people that support it, I'm not voting for them. So yes, my political views have changed a lot. I'm voting with my money, and I'm voting with Israel. I'm not getting caught up or suckered into these race politics or any of that bullshit anymore. Yeah, they have changed, and they're going to continue to change and evolve.
So that's the main thing that has really driven the Democrat Party, is the freaking race hustling. That might be like the number one thing. I mean, the general psychology behind the Democrat Party is finding a dragon to slay. And a dragon to slay is going to be some group of people who are like the bad guys, the oppressors, and then the oppressed. So right now it's like pretty much, I guess, everybody versus like LGBTQ, transgenders, white versus black, right? I guess everybody versus non-English speakers, racist people versus Hispanics. I mean, whatever they can think of, they're gonna do it if they feel like it's gonna be effective. And if it's not effective, they're just gonna keep pushing it and propagandizing it until it is effective. Okay, that's how they work. Right now, it doesn't seem like it's working as effectively as they would like, and they're raging out about it. And instead of actually regrouping on their strategy and maybe going back to the drawing board, trying to be a little bit more honest in their approach, no, they turn the dial way up on the propaganda. They're going totally bonkers. Like, like, let's just attack Trump more. They're like, bloodbath. He said bloodbath. Like, these people are nuts. They're idiots. They're crazy. And they deserve to be called out, and they deserve to lose. People like Rapaport and people who watch Rapaport and know about him, have seen his journey, I have no doubt in my mind that there's a lot of people, because I know some people, including in my personal life, friends, acquaintances, just all sorts of people who said that they voted for Biden, which was crazy because you should have known better. Shame on you, but whatever. I voted for Hillary. Shame on me, right? But now they say that they are voting Trump, okay? So times are changing. People like Michael Rapaport are finally waking up. I love a leftist red pill. These are some of my favorite videos to make, okay? Because they're people who are just like me, except, again, I've never been that Trump deranged, but Michael Rapaport, whatever, he's a comedian. Maybe he was faking some of it. I don't freaking know. But it's still hilarious to see his transformation, because now all of that rage that he had built up, you can see it building, where it was all focused on Trump before, but now it's focused on these crazy, deranged, nutcase, radical, tyrannical, authoritarian leftists. And they're going to feel that fury when that red wave comes. Drop a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. I appreciate y'all watching the Black Anomaly Rising channel. I'm out.
I'm voting with my money, and I'm voting with Israel. I'm not getting caught up or suckered into these race politics or any of that bullshit anymore.